Rabbi Delphine Horvilleur is a leading rabbi in France, the editor of Tnuah, a Jewish literary magazine and movement, a renowned public intellectual, and a best-selling author of multiple books. Her book, Living with Our Dead, sold over 1 million copies in France. This was a Jewish book about dead people. Just to be clear, 1 million people bought it. But maybe you know that already because it actually spawned a hit TV show, and it's already going to be in its second season. She is truly a force. Delphine teaches a monthly Beit Midrash in Paris, which draws over 500 people in person, Jewish and not Jewish, to learn texts from her. She is one of the most original, important thinkers of our generation, and she has been brave and courageous in her leadership. I'm so thrilled that we are bringing Rabbi Delphine Horvilleur back to our Bima at Central because 18 years ago, she was our rabbinic intern. How wonderful is that? On a personal note, I will say that Delphine is part of my rabbinic sisterhood. There are 5 female rabbis from LA to Jerusalem. We meet annually in Provence. I know. France is the midway point between Israel and LA, so what are we going to do? When we're in France together, whether we are at a Jewish museum or an outdoor market, people stop Delphine everywhere we go, and she is beloved by everyone, and she has really actually deepened the conversation about everything from grief to Israel to how we actually live. I cannot think of a better representative of our people, and I'm so thrilled to welcome back Rabbi Delphine Horvilleur to our Bima.
Shabbat Shalom. Bonsoir. There's an old French song, some of you may know. It says, Non, je n'ai rien oublié, rien oublié. The song repeats again and again, no, I did not forget a thing. And it's full of nostalgia. And those words could well be the soundtrack of the sermon I'm about to deliver, because it's all about nostalgia. The nostalgia I've been feeling these past days in New York. I'm so thrilled to be back here after so many years. Thank you for having rolled out this white carpet of snow to welcome me. And coming back here fills me with great emotion, especially returning to this sanctuary. It brings me back to a very particular moment in my life. The scene takes place right here in 2008. I'm not yet a rabbi, but only weeks away from becoming one. And one Friday night during service, the rabbinic team surrounds me, opens the ark, to offer a blessing at the threshold of my rabbinate. And among those angels is Angela, my friend, my mentor. And that moment is forever engraved in my memory. It was exactly 18 years ago. And 18 is a key number in the Jewish tradition. It's not only the time it takes to become an adult, but also the very famous gematria of the word Chai, life. And it won't be a scoop to anyone. In 18 years, the world has changed. We have changed. So many elements of our lives have changed, and we would never have imagined, or more precisely, no one had enough imagination to conceive what would unfold. So tonight, I remember. And because there is no coincidence, we enter now a Shabbat that has a special name in the Jewish calendar. The Shabbat we are in is called Shabbat Zachor, remember. And it's always the Shabbat that precedes the festival of Purim. But let me go back 18 years ago. At that time, you may remember, anti-Semitism was on the rise in France. We were before the attacks in Toulouse, and well before the attacks at the Hypercacher. But the situation was difficult. And in New York, I kept hearing the same sentence. Every time I was asked to speak about anti-Semitism, I would hear those words. Oh, it would never happen here in America. 18 years later, it's obvious that the phenomenon has developed everywhere, and that wherever we are, we must confront the growth of this ancient hatred. When I lived in the United States, I was often struck by the gap between the American and the European narratives of our Jewish identities. I grew up in a world shaped by suspicion and fear and mistrust inherited from past generations. It often meant strengthening the walls of our synagogues and our homes, hoping to protect ourselves. And when I arrived in the United States, I discovered your Judaism built upon a very, very different story. The promise that security would be granted here in any circumstance. American Judaism was not about building strong walls, but about opening windows and doors in a powerful alliance and full trust in the outside world. Dear friends, it seems to me that these past years have changed us, European and American Jews. For my part, in the past years, as a French rabbi, I've done everything I could to build openings and windows and doors and dialogue with the other, trying to build trust in the possibility to fight our loneliness. And it seems to me that in recent history, American Jews had to think differently about protection and security. And it's as if we had suddenly moved closer to each other, from opposite direction, desperately in need of each other's experience. Walls and doors. It's striking because in a few days, that's exactly what we'll speak about. At Purim, in the book of Esther, the entire plot unfolds between the walls and the gates of the king's palace. Esther is inside, behind walls, and Mordechai stands at the gate. And throughout the story, there is constant tension between the open and the closed, the threat and the security. Should we trust the other? Should we be suspicious? And Purim doesn't give one answer, but it teaches us something much more subtle, a philosophy of Jewish memory, given by one verse that is read tomorrow in many synagogues on Shabbat Zachor. We read this, Zachor et asher asa lecha Amalek. Remember what Amalek did to you. Do not forget what you have endured, the sufferings of our people, the traumas of our past. But the verse continues as follows, Timche et zecher Amalek lo tishkach. Blot out the memory of Amalek. Do not forget. So you see, it's written at the same time, remember and forget. The philosophy of Jewish memory lies in this paradox to remember and to forget at the same time, which can be understood this way. Do not forget what happened, but make sure that what happened does not prevent you from being chai, fully alive. Remember, but do not be paralyzed by memory. And, dear friends, that's exactly where we find ourselves today between the European and the American Jewish experience, learning to protect our children, but making sure there are still doors through which they will build strong alliances in our societies. 18 years ago, in this very place, a door opened for me, for which I will forever remain grateful. The gate of the Sacred Ark of Central Synagogue, opened by my beloved colleague, Angela Bogdal, who beyond the blessing of my ordination, gave me the blessing of friendship and sisterhood. Non, je n'ai rien oublié. May we, together, again and again, remember to support each other on this difficult journey, and may we never forget on both sides of the ocean and together that we can be both nostalgic and hopeful. Shabbat Shalom.